Do you hear that? That is the sound of a Saturday afternoon without children. It's a beautiful thing. Hi everyone, welcome to episode 3 of the Color Curator podcast. This is a fiber arts podcast coming to you from the base of the Rocky Mountains in Golden, Colorado. My name is Liz, and I'm so happy that you've decided to spend some time with me while I share with you what I'm wearing, my works in progress, I did finish something awesome, as well as some shop news. So if that interests you, stick around. Let's start off today's episode with just a little disclaimer. If you hear a bit of a frog in my throat, that's because I am recovering from being rather sick this week. So I'm going to try and edit out any of the sniffling, sneezing, coughing, aching, fever, whatever is else on. No, I'm going to try and edit all of that out so that you don't have to deal with it. So that may mean that this week is a little bit choppy. This week, I'm wearing something that I made, which makes me so happy. I know you get this feeling too when you get to wear something that you've made. But let me know if you have the words to put to this emotion I'm feeling. Because it's that... I can't put the right things to words. It's that sense of pride when someone says, "Oh, I like your sweater," and you can say, "Thanks, I made it myself." Or, for any indie dyers out there that are also watching this, saying, "Thanks, I dyed the yarn and then I knit it into a thing." That for me is that extra little bit. And I also get this same sense of pride when I see something that you have knit in the yarn that I've dyed. I get this like, "Oh, my baby grew up" type of feeling, knowing completely that this is something that you made, and I'm so proud of you putting in that effort and energy, but I also have this small amount of pride in how the yarn helped you accomplish that. If that's totally weird, let me know. But I think it's pretty normal for a dyer. We'll see. Anyway, back on topic. Today I am wearing the Campside pullover. This is a pattern by Alicia Plummer. It is a DK weight sweater that is start at the top with some short row shaping and raglan increases, and you can see that the raglan increases on this are an eyelet style raglan because it leaves a beautiful lace element to it. And let me kind of do this thing again. Sorry for the disembodied look. But I believe you can see here that there is lace patterning that starts about here. It's just a simple eyelet texture, but it graduates from fewer eyelets at the top to more and more eyelets at the bottom, similar to the Campside shawl that was designed. And you can see that it's got, again, bracelet length sleeves, and so as you can see, this is something that I'm very pleased with how it looks on my body. I would say that if I did make this again, which I might, I am going to drop down a bust size, or drop down, so I typically will create a 2X, and that typically will fit my upper bust measurement. The next time I make this, I'll go down a bust size and then do some increases just along the front raglan, just to give me some more fabric in the front. But I feel like this is a bit gapey along the sides here. And so I'd like to make, just to customize it a little bit more. That's nothing against the pattern. That's just shaping for my own personal tastes. Do you like to shape patterns to fit your body? Let me know in the comments below what you tend to do when you are making shaping decisions. Do you follow the pattern to the T? Do you choose a size based on an upper bust measurement, based on a full bust measurement? What other things do you look for when you're looking at patterns and how you want to modify them, if at all? This week, I made something awesome! I am really happy that I was able to finish the knitting on my Goldfish memory. So we're gonna do this here. It has not been blocked. You can see I've got a little bit of fringe at the bottom. I have not woven in my ends yet. But I did finish the lace on the end, which made it sit for a couple of days while I contemplated whether or not I wanted to have that element. But I decided 24 rows I could manage just to push through and get it done. So I'm really happy with it. Part of me thinks that I'm going to leave this fringe until a couple days in February so that I can participate in the Mean Girls Knit podcast. They're gonna do a
fall FAL. They're doing
a fringe along. That's the words. So the idea is that you have something with fringe and that you go out and wear in public and take photos wearing it in public. So I thought I might have some fun with myself one of these days and throw this on and go get some selfies in the grocery store or, wherever. There are some rules attached to that, so if that interests you at all in having some fun, go check out the Mean Girls Knits podcast. I'll link that below, and you can follow their links to find out all the rules.
Yay! It's awesome! Do this. The French.
So, final thoughts on this. The next time you see this, it will be because it's a what I'm wearing. It will have been washed and blocked and the ends woven in. I might also share my FAL fringe along pictures on the podcast when I do get a chance to wear this for what I'm wearing. So last time on the yarns, let's do this real quick. The green that you see there, that is Bring on Spring. This gray base with the speckles of pink and green and purple is Celebrate. And this dark purple is
Purple Velvet. Memory today.
And the dark purple you see there is Purple Velvet. I'm really happy with this knit. I really loved how the pattern just cycled through very quickly. I definitely think this was aptly named with Goldfish Memory because I never got bored with it. I was always excited, looking forward to the next section. There were times where I powered through 2 sections consecutively just because I wanted to see how the next section was going to look. And there was times where I would do part of a section and then, set it down for a little while in another part of a section. So it was one of those very comforting knits and definitely a social knit. Great project for going to knit nights and things like that. With, for me, the exception of this purple lace part and the green lace part. But that's just my take on lace and social knitting. So next up, I have some works in progress to share with you. So my first work in progress is coming to you from my Donuts Modular bag, and it is my blueberry waffle. Got a little bit of work on this week. You can see I have a progress keeper in where the patterning starts, right down there. And so I got a few repeats of the pattern. I think there are 17 total pattern repeats before I start the heel, and I've 8 done. So just over halfway. Nope, just under halfway. And I am really happy with how these are knitting up. Now that I'm able to add or give them some of my time and attention. This is the sock that I will throw in, or have been throwing in my bag for when I need to go anywhere. You know, I like to have that emergency knitting handy. So this is the project that is traveling around with me right now. The yarn on that is Supernova. Here's it is in the cake. And that's a Colorful Eclectic on the Elation sock base, which is a 75/25 superwash merino and nylon. And next I have something to share with you. This is coming out of my Erin Lane True Love bag. True Love is the style of the fabric. This particular pattern is not in the Two-Fer section of the shop right now, but I did send Lindsay a text and asked her about the availability on this fabric, and she does believe that she has some pieces available. She could sew one up. So if you are interested, go check out erinlanebags.com and send Lindsay an email. The sock that's in here is the Fine and Dandy socks. This is by Jessica Gore. And you can see that it's got these little flower motifs on it. This is another one that's been languishing for a while. I've got the first sock done. Been done for a while. Again, it's a shorty, not a super shorty sock, but you know, there's my heel, so that'll give you an idea there. It's about 2/3 of the way. So it's a little bit of a short sock that I kind of thought would be great for summer. It'll have the 1x1 ribbing on it. And I'm almost to the point of being able to put in the heel on the second sock. So let me show you the bottom of the foot. I've got one more repeat of this flower pattern, and I believe that's a 12-row repeat, if I'm remembering correctly. And then I will put in that contrast heel, again in the gray, and move on with my day. I wanted to share this with you. This is a teeny tiny little crochet hook on a keychain with a little bead, because that's cute. I really like having this for my project. It's nice. For this particular stitch, you need to wrap the yarn around the needle, and for the first 2 times you do that to make one of these flowers, that's relatively simple. But then the 3rd time for me, I'm finding it to be a bit of a challenge. So to make challenge easy, I'll take this little hook and put it through where it needs to, pull up a loop, and just slip that onto my needle, and I find that extra great. And I love that I can just slip it through one of these flower stitches, because they're an elongated stitch, and that just holds it on there for me. Isn't that fun? So I'm really glad to be getting some movement on this project. I've had it hanging around for way too long. So to get those done will be really good. Coming to you from the Fat Squirrel Whimsical Woodlands bag is my Timeless Henley. I misspoke last week when I told you how far along I wanted to be done with this. I achieved my goal, but I'm not working in the round yet. I mistook. Essentially what I wanted to do was be able to join the fronts of the fronts and the back all together, and I said working in the round. I am not yet at the point of working in the round, but there is togetherness there, with more 1x1 ribbing. It's okay. It's gonna be beautiful. It's very little ribbing on the sides, under the underarm, along the side seam. It's not an actual seam. Along the side where there would be a seam, that's a 1x1 ribbing. I think that's gonna add to the beauty of this, and the stretchability. So I'm very happy with that. If I give it a little lay across myself here, you can see that I've got a ways to go. I've got 3 of the buttonholes done. I'm just about ready to start another buttonhole, and I need to get to 5 before I join in the round. So that is my goal for next week, is to be able to be working in the round on this project. It shouldn't. The buttonholes are only 14 rows apart, so there shouldn't be too much more to do before I get in the round, which I'm very happy with. This is the vintage colorway. This is on my Ecstasy sock base, which is a 50% merino and 50% silk. And I just love the way that this yarn feels. I know it's going to be a wonderful and squishy sweater once it's done. And I'm really hoping that I can have this done in time to wear to my pop-up at Colorful Yarns in February. That may be a bit of a dream. Because it is a merino silk blend, I like pulling from the outside of the ball, just to keep things from, if I do a center pull ball like I normally do with everything else, the yarn, once it gets to the end of the ball, just isn't stable enough to not collapse it on itself and create a bunch of tangles. So I like to do from the outside. And I purchased, helps to pull the button out. I purchased this yarnet from Colorful Yarns a while ago. I think I've had it a good long time now. I can't even remember how long. But that's a yarnet. It's really fantastic because you put your yarn inside, you put your yarn coming out one of these, button in one of the other ones just to keep it from falling in on itself, or from untwisting. And this is a really nice thing, and it's lightweight. I was using my yarn bowl that you see right there, and I really enjoy using my yarn bowl when I'm at home. That I don't want to carry around a heavy ceramic bowl in my knitting bag when I'm going to be out and about. So I remembered that I had this, and it serves the same purpose. And with the silk, again, I want to make sure that I am taking care of my yarn. I don't want a tangled mess in my bag. It just makes the pleasure of knitting with this yarn even better. So I've got that in my yarnet, which is keeping everything nice and tidy. What else do I need to be saying about this pattern? I'm just past the second repeat of the lace pattern on the back. Let's see if I can stretch that out there. So just past the second lace pattern on the back side. When I get finished with this third repeat, I am going to go ahead and put a lifeline in as I knit around. One of the benefits of the Haya Sharp needles is that little hole right there will allow you to string a lifeline through there, and you can just knit across. It does catch your stitch markers, so I will either have to intentionally not use stitch markers for that row, which is not a problem, I can make that happen, or just intend to leave those stitch markers on the lifeline until I pull that lifeline out after I get, however many repeats past that. So I probably will do a lifeline about every 3 repeats, depending on how I'm feeling about it. The idea, for those of you that don't know, behind a lifeline is to basically put in a stopping point, because picking up stitches in lace is more difficult than picking up stitches in, say, stockinette. So if you make a mistake, sometimes tinking back is good when you just have a few, or a row, or maybe even 2 rows, depending on how intricate your lace work is. Sometimes it's best to tink back and just get a little bit done. Sometimes you gotta rip that sucker. And rather than having to rip all the way back to, say, here, which I don't want to do, putting a lifeline in allows you basically an opportunity to pick up by just following the lifeline as you pick up those stitches. Which I think it's insurance, basically. That's what it is. It's insurance that says that I know I am comfortable with where everything is at this point. I can rip back to this point and know that everything is good. Sometimes in lace, a lot of times in lace, it's easy to get off count very quickly, and lace is drawing a picture with the yarn, and so you really kind of want that picture to show. Yeah. I think that's all I have to share about the Timeless Henley this week. If you are interested in participating in the street alongs with this, which is what I'm doing, I'll link that Facebook group down below, and we'd love to have you participate. Cast on was technically only last Thursday, so you've got plenty of time. There's that. I have another hibernator for you. This is a biggin. Oh. In my Yarn Along the Rockies bag, 2016, I've got my mega blanket. This is a blanket that I just kind of wanted to have, a big blanket, big cushy blanket, to be able to have around the house. It is being knit out of a variety of colors of Encore Mega. This is a 75% acrylic, 25% wool blend. So that's perfect for this particular project because I plan on being able to throw it in the washing machine. And with the large amount of acrylic and wool, the smaller amount of wool, I don't believe that felting is going to be an issue. Of course, time will tell if we throw that in. I don't necessarily plan on throwing it in the dryer. I'll probably hang it up just over one of my drying racks. But yeah, I plan on this being a well-loved blanket, and so it just needs to be able to be thrown into the washing machine because children don't care if it's handmade. This yarn calls for a US 15 needle, and I do believe that's what I'm working with. Yep, a US 15. That's a 10 millimeter needle. This is really big in my hands, so it's not something that I like to work on a lot. I prefer to work on finer needles, and these giant suckers tend to kind of give my hands cramps. So, let me see if I can put this, and I'm just pulling the yarn out. This is various colors. I do have duplicates of each color, but I think I'm just gonna go get some more singles and just put in whenever I want. So there it is. Cast it on with this black edge, went into a gray, plum, white with a gray marl, this green that's got a brown marl to it, this cream, and now into the blue. It's not stretched out on these needles. Having it that heavy on the needles would be not fun. So it is kind of squished up, but I did the math based on my gauge, and it's probably going to be about 4 foot wide, which I think is a great cuddle under blanket for the boys, and that's really who I intended this for. It's heavy. I know that this is going to be, it's probably going to be a 5-pound blanket when it's done. Because, you know, my 10-year-old's getting tall. When did that happen? I don't know. But, so, there's that. I will probably only share this with you every once in a while, even if I do work on it, just because it's not super exciting. It's just stockinette stitch, back and forth. So, we'll see. All right, so my final work in progress this week is in my Peapod threads bag, and you'll notice there's been an addition. That there? That is something I want to talk more about later, but it's on my Peapod threads bag, and I really enjoy it. What's inside the bag, you say? Hey, we know, you mentioned something about that last week. This is my start to my confetti sweater. Let me see how the best, I'll probably do this. You can see I've got a stripe going there. Yay for the first stripe. This is a pattern where you cast on the neckband.
Sorry, someone drove by my window and stopped right where I could see them. Don't like it.
This is a pattern where you cast on the neckband, do your ribbing, and then you work short rows to get the neck length in, and then you continue working in the round once those short rows are accomplished, so that it rides nicely, and so you're not kind of doing boat neck style. What do I have to say about this? So far, I'm loving it. I think there's the rooster for all of you that love him. He's fine. He's fine. He's a jerk. I hope you enjoy that rooster, because sometimes I do. He's fine. He's just right by the front door, which is, you know, right over there. So I apologize if he's gonna be loud anymore. Not much I can do about that. Anyway, we were talking about the confetti sweater. This bag. There's my project. I'm really happy with the way that it looks so far. I'm very happy with the fabric I'm getting on the US 5 needles. So far, it's just a little thing. I hope I didn't cast on too tightly. I hope that neckline, pretty sure that's gonna fit over my head. That's the way to measure, right? Just, you know, hold it up to your head and see if... Anyway, again, that's, the yarn is Moongazer for the dark color. And Glacier Falls for the light color. And that's all I've got on that so far. More next week? Maybe? This being my backup sweater project, because you need more than one sweater, right? Means that the Timeless Henley gets the primary knitting time. But if I'm going places like knit night where I don't feel like I can be particularly social with the lace, this sweater is going to be joining me for those situations. So that's why we have multiple kinds of knitting, right? So that you can grab something that's appropriate for the context and move on with your life and be able to knit all of the things all of the time. Right? So I wanted to share with you a little bit of maker love today. That beautiful pink pin that I showed you on my bag. Here's another one. I bought one of those pins for myself a little while back, and then I received a second pin from my dear friend Jen. So I decided that I would put the pin from her on my bag, and this pin I would share the love. So I want to do a quick giveaway, something just short and simple. I will draw from the comments next week and pop that in the mail to you. So if you would be interested in a pink skein of yarn, this is a soft pin back, which is great for knitting bags, or even if you wanted to wear a pin like this, great for those old jean jackets, because I've got a jean jacket. Doesn't fit me right now, but I still have it. Anywhere where you want to put an enamel pin is a great thing. So if you are interested in being in the running for that giveaway, go ahead and leave me a comment on YouTube and let me know. What do I want to know? What your favorite day of the week is. Yeah. So good luck to those of you who enter. So the whole maker love part of that maker love segment is to introduce you guys to the designer and their website. So as you can see on the card here, their website is fiberandbrimstone.com. And if you're local in the Denver metro area, I picked mine up at Colorful Yarns, and she had quite a selection of all three colors. She had the pink, the purple, and the teal, which I can't imagine anybody not having their color favorite there. Alright, so shop news this week is going to be short and sweet. I've got a quick reminder for you that I will be doing a pop-up at Colorful Yarns. This is going to be on February 24th, which is a Saturday, from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. If you are in the metro area, I do hope to see you there. The next piece is a little bit of a watch this space, especially if you are in northern Colorado. In March, there will be something exciting going on. This is just the teaser, but it pertains to folks in northern Colorado. So there. Yeah, when there's more details, I will be sharing those here. And I've got one colorway being restocked this week because cold business going on, so I don't want to particularly die when I'm feeling sick. That's the benefit of working for yourself. You get to decide when you get a sick day and when you have to work anyway. Sick days really just meant working on paperwork rather than the physical work. Because one woman show, folks. Anyway, these are what I'll be restocking for you. This is the Graphite colorway. I've got it for you. Let's see if I can balance this. I've got it on my Elation sock base, which is the 75/25 Superwash Merino and Nylon sock yarn. I've got it on my Rapture base. I've got it on Rapture, which is an 80-10-10. This 80% superwash merino, 10% nylon, 10% cashmere. I've got it on the Delight Decay base, which is a 75% merino, superwash merino, and 25% nylon. And then finally, I've got it on the Enchanted, which is my sparkle base. That's 75% merino, 20% nylon, 5% silver stellina. So if you want to pick up one of these lovelies, they're available in the shop, ColorfulEclecticShop.com. Well, folks, thanks for sticking around this week. I know it's been a bit rough. I hope that you have a wonderful week and that you make something awesome. Until next time, bye.
Now I'm gonna start getting all snotty and nasty. It's recording. Hi everyone, welcome to episode 3 of the Color Curator podcast. This is a fiber arts podcast coming to you from the base of the Rocky Mountains in Golden, Colorado. My name is Liz, and I am so delighted. Say delighted again, Liz. Alright, and so the next which is my MCN. That is a 75-20-10. Nope, 70-20-10. 70-20-10 Superwash Merino Cashmere and Nylon. It's an 80-10-10, Liz. Okay.